I shouldn't have done that. How's it going, everyone? We're gonna play as the Spider Baby. Spider Baby. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well. We got... Ooh! So I really like this. I can definitely get down with this. I love me some quad shot, some triple shot. I love the multi-shot. Except for, you know... Was it the Keeper? I think it's the Keeper who has that. Don't like him. At all. Thicky poopy. Maybe. It's not an offensive item. So, on today's episode, what are we gonna talk about? Something else that has nothing to do with Isaac, because I apparently can't talk about Isaac for an episode. No, actually, this is something I kind of want to bring up because it happened pseudo recently. The show I was watching, show I liked the show. It just, I don't like what happened to it. If that makes sense. 100 damage? That's actually fairly significant. So, I like the Steven Universe show. I think it's a pretty good show. And they have finished it now. So I guess small spoiler warning. I'm not going to go too far into it, but if you haven't seen the final episode of Steven Universe Future, which is what the continuation of the series is called, you know, you go watch that. But I have seen it. So I don't know what that spider is. Kind of wish it would tell me. Or is that like a spider that comes from the transformation? But the I guess first I'll address the movie, which I did like. It's what's the movie called? Just Steven Universe Future? Anyway, the movie on it has a fairly significant tonal change to it. Or at least that's what it seems like it's going for. And they actually go with like a more aggressive theme and then change it. Like in the last 20 minutes of the show. Not exactly, but it has a darker theme to it. And then forgets about it, I guess. Because it honestly just like loses what it was. I don't know. I think this one's good for what I'm looking for. Because if you continuously shoot in the same direction, it goes faster and faster. So we've already dropped 10 points. Well, it was actually 9 points, and now we've dropped 12 points, so it cuts it in half. That's fairly significant. If we have a boss that we can fight prolonged in the same direction. So, I guess what I'm going to say is spoilers, because I'm going to talk about it, because I don't know if I can fully articulate without addressing some of the more specific details in it. So, if you haven't seen Steven Universe, it's very, I don't want to say kiddie, but there's like, in a lot of ways, there's little to no consequence. Which to some people is a weakness to the show. Because a lot of the, I don't have any bombs. Oh, let me just do this. Come on. No! No! God dang it. Alright, just go. So the show is very much like, this might upset someone, but it's very much kind of friendship is magic. It has a very non-hostile, aggressive tone to it. It's so long as you work together with your friends, then you can succeed. Which, you know, is fine enough. I mean, hell, even things designed at, like, more mature audiences, like the upper teens, also have that. Because, you know, with how shitty the world can be, sometimes we just want it to be, like, cuter, basically. We don't want the harsh reality that sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you try, you will fail. So, I don't have a problem with shows doing that. It's also trying to work towards the acceptance of others and individuals and an avoidance of conflict when at all possible. You know, communicating. Man, I talk about communicating a lot now, but communication is literally the strongest tool anyone has. Okay, that's fine. Not everyone has to have a very negative and aggressive outlook on life. So, the show has a very, like, it's not the right term, but it's like kind of cutesy feel to it, where it's non-aggressive. It's so long as we talk about it, we'll win in the end, basically. And then with the movie, it goes to a very dark side on it, kind of, because oof, do I want these? I don't know. I mean, they could be great. Could be crap. Demon baby, not on the crap side. Don't. Yeah, no, there's an item room. Or sorry, there's a shop. Let's go for the shop. But so it has a very peaceful, you know, nature to it. And when you kind of strip that out of the show, it's kind of like, what are you left with? So in the movie, it goes more dark. Because one of the characters is actually trying to kill the entire planet and is succeeding. Are you actually spamming that? Sorry. I messaged someone and they didn't respond for an hour, so I decided I was going to stream. Recording. There we go. They weren't spamming me. But then it kind of goes to, like, all of the sudden, it just shifts tone at the very end of it. Because it was, like, going helpless and then not. So, I like the movie. I thought it was a fun watch. There was some good songs in it, because it's ultimately a kid's show. Her style is not, Rebecca Sugar's the person who makes it, is not, kind of very threatening. You can always figure that, like, there'll be a happy ending. Which is, you know, true for, I'm gonna say almost most shows. Most shows don't have a very negative ending without it, like, already specifically being in a, like, basically a specific genre. Anyway, so just the fact that it has, you know, a happier structure to it doesn't bother me. But the ending of the show has a huge tonal shift and then forgets that it was trying to shift to something. This is my opinion on it. Maybe people don't agree with it, and however it is. But it has a huge, like, change in the tone of it And I'm like, all right, I can get behind that. That sounds pretty cool. And then it forgets that it was trying to, like, change its tone. And ignores it. And goes right back to its old, you know, there's a happy ending always. Which bothers me. Because with the whole point of the future aspect, Steven Universe Future, it's a follow-up, was to kind of have the show be like a little bit darker. At least that's how it seems to me, is with a lot of the things that happen to it near the ending of it, it's like, I think it's like 20 episodes long, and they're half episodes. It's only like really 12 episodes long, so it's not a very long show. But they go like kind of into self-doubt territory and stuff, and then it's almost like they forget that that's what they wanted to go for. Now it could be like the plug got pulled and they're like, hey, finish the series now. You have 3 episodes. Then you're done. Because obviously, what's it called? I was supposed to say clerical, that's wrong. Studio interference can massively hinder any show. Or, you know, or however you want to word it. There's always something that can drastically get in the way of a show performing. Whether it be, like, switching in directors or, you know, whatever. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Flaming gas in many ways. Sounds neat. I'm gonna say no. I don't know. Like, it was one of the most disappointing endings in a show I've seen. The most disappointing ending to a show I've seen is actually on one of my favorite shows. Or at least favorite live action shows. I really like How I Met Your Mother. I think it's a really good show. The ending of that is crap. It felt like they completely forgot what they were trying to do. And were just told, wrap it up. Now, maybe it was their intention all along. That's fair. That's a dumb idea. Because the show is called How I Met Your Mother. And the mother is not introduced until the last, like, 3 episodes. Like, really introduced. Because it's the last season of the show is how she is brought into the show. But it doesn't really give much about it. She's such a side character in it. And then, this is a spoiler, but that came out in, like, 2010, so... sorry. They kill her off screen. Like, it's like the last episode of the show, the characters basically go through, like, the next 10 years of their lives. All at once. Which is really discouraging. Because with the show being so meticulous with, like, how they're, like, when things are happening, how they're doing it, to then immediately, like, just immediately wrap it up. Get out of here. Definitely want this. That's pretty big, I think. It's not, like, that big, but I like it. Shit. Give me my spirit heart back. I know that's not how it works, but... Like a dream, Harold! So, it had a terrible, terrible ending. And that's kind of how I feel about the Steven Universe ending. It had, like, a huge tonal shift, or, like, the purpose of it was going to be, like, this is different. It's the future. It's, like, coming to terms with, you know, the world is different now. Which I can get behind. Showing character growth is very cool. But also could you actually grow as a character and not just pretend like you are? And how I view it is that they were pretending how it was. It didn't feel like they actually had meaningful character growth in it. Because every time they started to show something that would be meaningful growth, they immediately reverted back to the norm. Which I know is a common sin that a lot of long-running shows can do. It's one of the phrases to represent it is the status quo is God, or king, or however you want to word it. I was introduced to the status quo is God because, like The Simpsons, there are so few changes to the actual status quo of the show. That no matter what happens, it has to revert to that. So characters can't really get the development that they need or could get. Not everything needs massive character development. If it's putting comedy first, that's perfectly fine. But I don't know. Even with the regular Steven Universe, they did not do a good job wrapping up the show. Which was the movie. The movie was supposed to wrap it up. If you don't know, reason I'm bringing this up is the show ended just a couple days ago, and I just thought of it. And, here's a topic to talk about, because I don't talk about Isaac. What am I, crazy? I only talk about other things. I never address Isaac. I'll address other games I'm playing, which I promise there are some other games coming soon. With, you know, the new microphone, so hopefully the clickety-clack on controllers won't be so bad. Hopefully. Okay, it wasn't. Sorry, it looked like my microphone was drooping down really bad. Ah. Hello, Death. Sorry. Hello, darkness, my old friend. So that's just my thoughts on it. Is, it just had a massive shift. Like the overall tone of it, and it irritated me. I didn't like it. I wanted to see something more robust being done. Instead of, like, what honestly feels like just a cheap cop-out. I know it's very hard. And, like, talking with my brother, he's brought this up, like, Simpsons. Specifically, he's like, once they hit 30 seasons, they should just quit. Just shut down the whole show. And to a point, I agree. But also, don't. Because if a show's doing well, you shouldn't shut it down just for the sake of shutting it down. You should only shut it down when you're done with it. But, then again, with a show like The Simpsons, having ridiculous life cycle brings up other issues. Unfortunately, with The Simpsons, it will probably be done until the show is literally not getting reviews anymore. They'll just shift someone else in to take the lead instead of Matt Groening, which I don't even know if he has priority anymore on it. So, those are my thoughts on it. I'm going to stop the episode here. It's just about 20 minutes. Didn't perform super well. Meh, it happens. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do sincerely appreciate it. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.